Hey guys, welcome to Fat Chat. The best place to be Monday nights, 10 p.m. is right here.
Song, the future. One of these days, I'm gonna be sitting at a table with 3 kids, and one of those kids is gonna call me up for buying a Call of Duty for the multiplayer.
I'm gonna take your mic. I'm gonna take your mic. I'm gonna do it. It's mine. It's mine now. You can
DLC.
You can have it back. Yeah. All right. I just kind of you jumped in, man. I like it.
But he dies. No, you pay $2,000. You just get really wasted and wake back up with a. That's not true at all. It's just like real life now. They set you in. You're gonna get memed again. Oh no, you. Let me.
Fat Chat. Hello, you guys. I'm your host, Brandon, and to my left is Mr. Josh. How's it going, sir?
Pretty good.
Dude, okay, so last week, was it on Indie or Fat Chat? You claimed that you were wearing a Salt and Sanctuary shirt, and you were not.
Correct.
But you redeemed yourself this week.
Yeah, I think I was wearing my Wooden Spoon Survivor shirt instead. And no, I had my Salt and Sanctuary shirt on because I thought I was wearing it when I had a jacket on, but nope, I got it on today. Salt and Sanctuary.
And you got that at PSX?
Yes, I did. I actually got it from the developers, Ska Studio, 2 people, Mr. and Mrs. Silva. They're really cool developers. You should check out some of their games. Time Viking, Salt and Sanctuary if you haven't played it.
I made a game with zombies in it.
I made a game with zombies in it, obviously.
Never heard of it.
And to my right is Mr. Peter. How's it going, sir?
Hey.
Somebody who's never heard I made a game with zombies in it?
No, I'm lying.
Oh, okay, cool. I was like, that game is $1 and it's fucking sweet.
The song even tells you about how it was $1.
The song is like, you should buy that game just for that like song.
It's like an interactive music video.
I made a game with zombies in it. Except if you have any form of like possible epilepsy, do not play it.
Yeah, it's fine.
It'll set it off like for sure. It's just flashing lights.
It's a
twin stick shooter,
visually abrasive.
Yes.
So.
For somebody like me who doesn't have epilepsy, I feel like I'm about to have a seizure.
Yeah.
But
Had a
it's
couple of
fun.
those moments in some games recently. So
It's super fun. It's really good. Classic twin stick shooter. It's $1 and you'll get $1.50's worth of enjoyment out of it.
I like that thing now.
No, I mean it's short, but it's fun.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a
It's-
dual stick shooter. So.
Yeah, it's super good though. Peter, what have you been up to?
Working.
Working.
Just working. That's all I do.
That's it. Peter
It's-
just works.
Yep.
Works. He's like an Oompa Loompa.
Sure.
You just work
Except
all
less
day.
orange and hella less cool.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't sing in rhymes the
No,
whole time.
I do not.
You should learn to do that. You should just rhyme the whole time. Like
Thank you.
that's all you should do. You should just rhyme while you work. Whistle while you work.
I'm not good at rhyming or whistling or creativity in any way.
That's true.
I do logic program.
That's why it's the only reason he keeps me around, you guys, is because I'm fairly creative when I need to be. There's like sparks.
You're
in
using
it.
that word loosely. That's all right.
What's up?
So you're using that word loosely.
I
That's okay.
use a lot of things loosely. That's my creativity sparking. Don't look at me like that.
I'm trying to come up with like a dirty joke. I'm like, what does he use loosely?
Yeah, right. No, as soon as I said it, I was like, "There's definitely a joke there," but I was hoping I could gloss over it.
Speaking
you start, Moxie?
of jokes, recently when I was at a bar, it was I think Friday night. I wish I wrote them down, but I was just coming up with puns the entire night.
Dude, I
boy.
get in those days where like everything somebody says is just
it's the
pun
pun.
after
Yeah,
pun
it
after
was-
pun.
And you think you're funny and you're not.
No, they are fucking okay. So there's rules to puns, right? And the first rule of puns is that you say every pun that you can think of. That's like first rule of puns, right? Second rule of puns is
Why?
a pun
Why is
is
that a rule?
only bad.
The worse it
The
is,
worse, the funnier it is. Yeah, that's like that's
The worse people feel is the reason people feel bad.
For
is-
Honor is a mess.
I kind of want to talk about that. Maybe we'll talk about that.
We can. That's fine.
I haven't played it, so I'd like to know why it's a mess.
So I'll tell you why it's a mess, right? There is some reasons why it's a mess. So
And he's not biased at all.
what's up?
Said you're not biased at
Okay.
all.
No,
So
I'm
it's
gonna
not like Ubisoft and you are chums now.
I'm gonna explain to you why it's a mess though, because the game has issues, like for sure, right? And they're issues that a lot of people saw coming, and they're things that I know people addressed. And
You just finished it, right?
what's up? I finished the storyline, and I'm Reputation 2, which is like Prestige 2, with one of my online characters.
How long did it take you to finish it? Like 60 hours?
Of actual playing? Probably
2-3
Probably
hours.
10 hours.
Oh, okay. On the campaign.
Probably 10 hours in the campaign for sure. And I've put a lot of time into the multiplayer for sure. And the campaign, while being short, it's good. It's interactive. You get to play a couple different of the classes, which is really cool. It does string through one long storyline, which is cool and kind of explains.
Does
like,
it strikes me as one of those things that the developer added in because they knew people would bitch if there wasn't a campaign?
I fully believe so.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, but I believe they did it.
Like think Titanfall.
You think it's missing anything by not having couch co-op?
I think couch co-op would add to it for sure. Because honestly, like, so playing through the campaign, it was a lot of fun, and you can play through the campaign co-op for sure. But it's online. I think couch co-op would have been great for it. But of course, as somebody like me who does not enjoy couch co-op,
Yeah, I don't do couch co-op. Fuck no.
but
You
I think
know-
it would have brought something to the game to be able to play with people. One console,
So
you know.
the-
What would
do
be a
wasn't for
cool
nothing.
mode? And this is one of the main reasons I actually go back and still play Dynasty Warriors to this day.
Okay.
Is fucking Empires mode.
Oh yeah, like where you capture the
Where it breaks down the map into
Yeah.
sections, and then you play the captain of your army, and you hire.
you
your
play
dudes.
Risk basically.
Yeah, and as you go
Yeah.
around, you build your weapons up, you get your
So-
stuff, and then you basically play Risk against these other armies. And if you remember,
Well, so
Star
there's
Wars
For
Battlefield-
Honor kind of has that.
Okay.
There's something called the Faction War, which is its metagame,
Kind of
essentially.
like Helldivers, right?
Sort of, yeah. So there's 260, let's call them like countries or 60,
Nodes.
yeah, lands. And then as you battle, so each battle, you're one-on-one, all multiplayer battles.
there's probably like a let me just guess. There's probably like a bar of like victory points that you have to get to control a node. So,
No, yes and no. There's basically each node, right, has you can only fight on your fronts.
Okay.
So obviously, like if I'm a knight, if the samurai and the Vikings are touching there, but there's no knights touching, I can't drop nodes there because my people aren't fighting there. And then so there is territories and stuff like that, and then there's basically it's like a bar graph. There's percentages.
That sounds exactly like the Nemronimus War from Chrome Hounds,
A lot like that, yeah.
where there's 3 nations on this map,
Yep.
and in order for you to fight, there's got to be actual contact. You can't just drop behind enemy lines.
So the thing is, it's cool though because you can fight on. So basically, the way it works is like each front, because there's 3 fronts, either represents the 1 versus 1, the 2 versus 2, or the 4 versus 4. No, the 1 versus 1, the elimination, or the 4 versus 4. But even if your faction isn't there, you can still fight there. You just can't drop nodes there. So you can still play those game modes, even if your faction isn't fighting there. You just can't drop nodes onto those because your faction isn't on that front. You can
Right.
only drop them on yours. And then obviously as you battle through, it sets.
So essentially, it's nothing like Empire mode in Dynasty Warriors.
I mean, it's as close as you're going to get for a game that's not playing
but
Empire
you
mode.
see my point? Like that'd be because that was like some of the most fun that you can have in.
Don't give me that. The Peacekeeper is the best class
Get out of here.
in the game. It's the only reason I went with the Knights.
So
Do you switch? Like, what if you want to play Samurai right now?
So, depending on what faction you have, does not dictate which class you can fight as.
Why?
So, although I fight as a knight,
that
That's retarded.
that kind of defeats.
So you can just play whatever class you want, but
Correct.
you're still
you're
that-
fighting for the knight
That's
faction.
fucking retarded.
Is it though?
It is. As far as role playing, that's retarded. There should be a different way to like. There should be a way you can play them, obviously. But
So in the storyline, and that's where the storyline does make sense, right? So in the storyline,
let me guess, you broke rank and you turned and went to the other one.
mercenaries.
well, basically, so
Traitors.
Apollyon. Okay, if you haven't played the storyline, like here, Apollyon is like the main villain, and like she is a knight, but her entire goal of the whole storyline is to get every faction fighting each other, and so that does result in like knights fighting knights, samurai fighting samurai, samurai fighting knight. Everyone's just kind of in a fuck. Like it's just like a giant war between everybody. The factions are in fighting each other and stuff like that. And at the very, very end, so spoilers if you haven't played it, the very, very end,
Spoilers.
the head of each faction basically come together and they're like, okay, we need to like create peace. So they've like now created their own faction of like a mixture of the 3. So it's kind of like representing like
Wow.
the knight samurais are all kind of in one faction, and then there's little factions like that kind of who've broken out
That
everywhere.
still doesn't explain it though, because the way that you explained
I'm
it,
sure
the
he didn't
3
explain it very
factions
well.
are Vikings, samurais, and knights. Well, wouldn't it technically be just split? So if they've all conglomerated into this amalgamation, wouldn't they just have like clan names at that point? Like you'd have Lotus Flower, the Japanese clan, or you'd have like, I don't know, the Dick Templars, the Night Clan, and then you would have like fucking Bloodletter, Man Mountain, fucking Dick Stompers.
But the three main have
game
created
looks
their own clan.
Beautiful,
together.
and what I'm guessing is the same people who like designed the characters and programmed it probably just threw the story together to make it work.
Oh yeah, no.
It wasn't like a
honestly, I mean,
writer.
the game is it's 100% built.
It's
around
multiplayer, 100%,
so.
and that's why when you ask, like, is the multiplayer, is the story just phoned in?
100%.
100%.
So it's the same
100%.
group as Call of Duty. Like, what's the story? Like, who gives a fuck? It's Call of Duty. You have a gun, shoot someone.
I mean, just like Call of Duty, you get a short
A
story.
little
The
bit more
storytelling's
care. A
normally
little bit more care was probably taking this on the Call of Duty campaigns. Like, I mean, honestly, we can think
They
about
tried,
like,
but-
like Modern Warfare 1 and 2 have very memorable,
Yeah,
they do.
memorable campaigns.
But they've walked away from those in the recent ones, which is fine. Like that's not where they don't sell their
That's
games
not their
because of their
strength
campaign.
anymore.
Yeah,
They really walk
it's
away.
not.
They went to Titanfall. So
Yeah,
I mean, the Kevin Spacey one
Respawn.
was bad.
their stories are never bad, but they're just never like memorable. They're never like
Still better
you
story in
need
the
to
Order
put in.
86. Ain't that the truth? The game was fucking
Oh my
garbage.
god, everything is better than the story of 18.
I still haven't played it, and I have a
God.
PS4. I should
Pe-
play.
that
Dude,
was
you're not missing
that was
out.
harsh, dude. Like
I feel like I have to take a
We
pilgrimage to it.
really tried, and we like
we were like all we were
playing
gonna-
together and
yeah.
trying to like talk, like keep each other
just
going.
falling asleep, like
Like,
legitimately
could not.
falling asleep. It's just you just like walk up into gallery shooting. Like that's every shootout is just like a gallery shootout where you just basically stand on one side and people.
You'd have like a
just pop
cutscene,
out.
and then like you finally get control again. You walk through the hallway,
And then
the
another
hallway
cutscene.
I'm like, you could have just
made
walk-
that one cutscene.
like
I
walk me
didn't-
through the hallway. I don't need to push forward.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just skip over.
That's
it.
I think that's one of the things that as an adult, what I do not like from video games is when they arrest the control from me.
Yeah.
Or
Like,
quick time fucking events like
Oh
fucking.
my god.
No, I do not like fucking quick time
Oh my
events.
God,
Like have an epic like who did it? Like
The one thing about what was that game we're talking about?
Dying
Gears
Light.
of War.
Dying Light.
The final boss in
Final
Dying
boss
Light
fight?
is just a quick time event.
It builds up
So-
so well, and the fucking last boss
Gears
is a
of
quick time.
War
Fuck.
had great cinematic moments where I'm still in charge of
Yep.
my character.
Yep.
I like, but I press a button to fucking look. And it's like, oh, I can look at that. Some crazy shit's
Yeah.
happening, or they're talking amongst each
But
other.
it's still in game.
It's still
Yeah.
game. You know, like
That was another problem with 1886 is you would so let's say there was like a 5-minute
We don't get
cutscene.
off track at all.
4 minutes into the cutscene, they'd be like a quick time event. And you'd be like,
No.
you'd have set the controller down because you're like, oh, cool. The cutscenes were beautiful. They were great. So you're like, I'm going to watch this cutscene. I'm going to get like enthralled into this game. And then all of a sudden it's like fucking
It's
like
just
quick
jerk
time
in,
event. And
jerk
you're like
out.
trying to grab your controller, then you die. And then you have to watch like the whole cutscene again. And you're like, I fucking like, it's just shitty.
And a lot of cutscenes
terrible.
were like, press this before you die. Oh, you died. So
Yeah.
like literally, you know exactly what you press, and there's no other option. It's just
Yeah.
you're just pressing.
So
it
then you have to watch the whole cutscene again, wait for that to come up to press it. Then it's
2
like,
minutes
oh,
for
yeah,
10
that's
minutes.
done.
That's my problem with Tomb Raider.
see, I don't mind games that are specifically designed for quick time events. Like
Well, that's the thing about Dying Light.
Heavy
It's like
Rain.
you spend the whole game Dying Light is putting together guns, finding better things, and like
Yep.
learning
Yep.
all the mechanics.
and then doing fucking nothing with it.
And at the end, the fucking boss is a quick time event. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? Like, I have all these cool fucking things. I stapled a fucking like gun to my breadboard with nails in it, like,
Yep.
and put electricity on it, and now
So-
I can't fucking use it.
Yeah.
Luke Fied 15 should, by your recommendation, should I just watch the YouTube movie of The Order?
Yes.
It
No,
would've been a
watch
great
it.
movie.
It's beautiful. Like it's absolutely gorgeous. Storytelling's terrific. Like it's a cool story. That was all done terrific. The gameplay itself is just lacking.
And every shooting
You know,
is a gallery shooter.
it's
like,
just a gallery shooter.
it's
Yeah.
straight lane and like little things like you can hide behind, and they hide behind and pop out too. Like it's all.
And you
Like,
just like sit there and wait for them to pop out, pop, duck, wait for the next one to pop out, pop. And they're too long. The gallery shooters are all too long. They're like 5 to 10 minutes of just sitting there waiting for like you kill everybody and then like another wave of people come out and then you kill
Yeah,
all
just
them and then like
waves.
another wave come and you're like, this is pointless. Like it's terrible. For Honor, the main issue, right? So the storyline, whatever that, like we said, it wasn't built for the storyline. It was built for the multiplayer. 2 issues with the multiplayer, right? One,
Servers. I bet
they
you.
don't have servers.
they don't have servers. It's peer to peer.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of complaints about it.
Wait, what? It's peer to peer?
It's like a new system of peer to peer.
It is a new system, and actually in game, the peer to peer works fine.
So is it like old school Halo where it picks the best person in the party who has
No.
the best connection to host it?
Technically, so there is a host, right? But the thing is, like the peer to peer works where instead of everybody sending all their information to the host, and then the host sending all the information back out, everybody's sending the information to everybody.
That doesn't sound nice.
Honestly, in the battles itself, it works fine because
There's times I've seen you drop out. Like I've seen you play, and then some people drop out, and it takes 1 second reconnecting. Done. Like it was pretty smooth.
It just dropped. It just basically there is a host, and if the host leaves, it has to
just
think
from
about it.
what I've seen, what I guess, if someone drops out, they don't get penalized for it.
They don't get penalized.
But if everybody drops out, the whole game stops.
Yes, I think it's
If it's
honestly
That's like old school 360.
seriously
shit,
though. Even if like sometimes,
seems like a step back.
sometimes if the host drops out, it will disconnect. Sometimes it's not ever. It's honestly probably less than my biggest issue. Right, is every single fucking match, no matter what, the losing. So it's 4 versus 4. The losing team, all 4 of them drop every fucking time. Every time, without question. I can be on the losing team and I'm like, yeah, fucking let's go again. Like that was a good fucking match. Let's go. Somebody who's actually like a good team that's challenging. Let's fucking fight them again. Like my whole team just drops. And then when they see like my 3 people drop, like 2 or 3 of their people drop. And next thing you know, you're in a fucking like matchmaking with 2 people. And then you're like, fuck, well, I gotta fucking drop now too and find a new fucking match. So there is no penalty for dropping. There is no reward for staying in matchmaking. So it's just every time you just have to rejoin a new matchmaking. And then you join a new matchmaking, you start like halfway into a match because you're like...
That whole multiplayer system just kind of seems like a couple steps back as far as multiplayer goes.
It's so like
the actual peer-to-peer itself is fine. Everything else
even
is
then,
just retarded.
even then, that's like how the 360 did it.
They do genuinely just need to get servers.
Yeah.
It's as
honestly
simple as
like it's 2017. Like servers aren't expensive anymore. Amazon fucking rents them out so
Everyone,
cheap.
you heard it
You
here
can pay
first.
for
It's
like
2017. That's the first time I've heard that this year.
Boom! You heard it here first.
you can fucking like pay Amazon 5 years for fucking servers to keep your game going. Like for the money you make off there, like. No excuse not to, especially in a multiplayer game. So we talked about this before it even came out. I was like, it's a really cool concept, and it's really dumb if they like break the game trying to test it out here.
Yep. And I mean, Peter, you said a lot of, you were Peter, who's been genuinely negative about the game, and not negative.
I don't feel like I was.
No, you have been.
I've been inquisitively negative.
You've been negative, and it's fine because you haven't.
I've been negative about all the betas.
You haven't been rude about it. You haven't even. You've just been negative.
That's because
I
wouldn't call it negative.
No, he's been negative. Okay, he's much more negative when people aren't here about it.
Perception's reality, right?
Which is fine, right? Okay, whatever though. But once again, I've never felt like you were never trying to not sell me on the game, right? You were just personally like, this was your personal feel. You were just.
I was like, that's retarded. Like, why would you? And then like,
which is fine. You're allowed to have that opinion. I would never.
There are a lot of things that like change my opinion, and I like don't.
Yep.
I still don't like hate the game. I don't really feel either way about it. I just some things are. It's interesting that they did it that way.
Yeah. Well, see, that was one thing that
Not
you
what I
said.
would've done, but
when it came out and I was playing it here in person, you're like, the game looks beautiful. It looks like it's running smooth.
Oh my
the
God.
combat's great. Like,
Looks
really,
beautiful.
Genuinely, like the things that like are there. Like there is problems, and it's not the gameplay. It's just
That's what I
stupid
said.
mechanics that they haven't fucking fixed. That like they should fix because
what I said to you was like
context is there.
the fucking combat, like sword to sword combat. Nobody's ever done like that, and it's fucking fantastic.
It's great.
Like even when I played it, the beta, like great. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't have made it better myself.
Yep.
The graphics beautiful. Everything looks crystal
Even on
clear.
the
There's
fucking
detail. The
PlayStation,
chainmail,
gorgeous.
like fucking
Yep.
beautiful. Like the action's great. It's smooth. Frame rate. Like models are beautiful. Like everything is good.
Yep.
But at that point, like if all the pieces come together and the game's not fun, there's only one person to blame, and it's the direction of the game entirely. Like if the game
But
isn't fun, like
the game is fun though,
So-
but there is still a disconnect. The ball, there's certain parts where the ball's just been dropped, and it's on the parts that are the most important part of the game. It's the multiplayer. If it's hard getting into matchmaking,
Yep.
if the matchmaking just isn't done correctly, like your game can be perfect, it can be fun, but if you can't get into a match and you can't play and you can't sit down and play like in matchmaking for like a half hour, even like 2 or 3 matches,
I guarantee they'll
there's an
lose.
issue.
They'll lose more money not selling copies now because of those complaints than
Yep.
they would have spent on servers.
on servers. Yep.
So it's sad that like it's great when new technology comes out, but it's sad like your game has to suffer because you're
Yep.
testing it.
Yep.
Good on them for being the first to try it, but I feel like Ubisoft is too big and that studio is too big to take that kind of a risk. But
I think
it's
that's
not my company. But
on the other side, I think that's where they can get away with doing it because in a big company like that, so obviously like For Honor, they put a lot of eggs in this basket. Obviously, they've hyped it up a lot. There's a lot of talk about it. But
honestly, I
if
feel
you
like
try
there wasn't
something-
really that much. I know we were exposed to a lot, but
Yep.
in general, I haven't seen much.
honestly, like, so I've gone to a couple different stores and people have fucking like, there's actually like, I don't want to say standees, but like
same.
little side. Like,
don't go to stores,
bins.
so.
You don't go to stores, yeah. But all in all, I'm happy with it. I've been playing it a lot. I'm having a ton of fun. I've honestly just reverted back to the 1v1s because normally I can get a 1v1 person to actually stay in with me for like a few matches.
Sad they have to do that though.
And 1v1, honestly, 1v1 is nice though because it takes away all your armor level, your weapon level, and it's just your class versus their class. It's just base classes, and that just comes down to pure skill, which is cool because then when somebody beats you, it's not like, oh, well, he had better armor than me. Oh, his weapon class is like higher than fucking mine. It's like, no, he's just better than you, and that's fine. Like, you know, and then when you beat somebody, you have that same feeling. Like, I'm just better than that person, which is fine.
Let me know when they find out how that feels.
What's up? Oh, dude, I rock the 1v1s. I am terrible when I get grouped up on. But we are here to talk gaming news, you guys, not just For Honor. So, there has been a lot of buzz about the new Nintendo Switch, mainly because it was shown that somebody claimed earlier this week that they got an early copy of the Switch that was mailed to them incorrectly by the retailer that they ordered from. Turns out Nintendo has looked into it, and they were actually stolen from a retailer.
No, stolen from a distributor.
A distributor.
Or an employee of a distributor. What a moron.
I believe actually 2 got stolen. 1 got showed off in a reveal, and then 1 got illegally sold from those guys to somebody else. They've already gotten them back. They've already caught the people who did it. They've been fired. They're now getting charges pressed against them.
Hope that Instagram pic was worth your job.
I was going to say, yeah, is it worth it? Because you didn't get to play it because there's no games out for it. You didn't, like, nothing's live for it at all. So you didn't, like, you got a couple Instagram pictures and you showed a video that got, you know, a bunch of thumbs up and likes and talked about in the news. Like, but now you're facing fucking.
I feel like you could have just done that like in the back room, like pretended, take a photo. Oh my god, I have a Switch, and then put it back together and put it away.
Yeah,
nobody would know.
Funny thing is though, is a lot of people are looking. So obviously they showed them like unboxing it and stuff like that. The box is large, and it's just a lot of padding. There's just a lot of empty space in this Nintendo Switch box.
Sounds like Nintendo.
Sounds like Nintendo, right? So you're getting these big boxes are taking up a lot of people's space in their back rooms of these distributors and, of course, retail stores when they start coming out. And it's just not... It doesn't need to be that big is what it boils down to. They're just bigger than they need to be.
Well, I mean, you also... We don't know how flimsy this fucking thing is.
That's honestly, it probably does need to be that big because it just needs that much packaging.
This thing is 95% fucking screen, so I honestly, the fact that it's so padded makes sense to me.
I was like, yeah, the iPhones are just screen, and they come in boxes this big.
It's the thinnest box ever. You couldn't fit anything else in there. There's not even air in there.
Fuck the iPhone.
And there's not even padding. The screen goes against the top of the box.
Can I fucking snap shit to my iPhone and have a controller and then unsnap it and put it into a dock and then put the fucking controller back
You
together?
can.
Actually.
Fuck that. It's because it's an Apple.
You can do it with your phone too.
And then furthermore,
the game cases. I saw those game cases. You see those?
They're so ugly.
Oh
they don't fit with other game cases. What is wrong with you?
They do. They fit. That's the whole point. They fit with other game cases. They're just the same size, but they're just whole cartridges.
I thought I saw a picture and they were like, I want to say thinner.
Stop it.
They might be thinner, but they're the same like dimensions.
Like
so they fit in the shelf with the same games, but they're like 3DS cartridges.
I mean, that's fair. I'm okay with that actually.
You know what I
Shit
like?
needs to, like,
What I
line
like,
up
I
with
remember
mine.
how the like the original Game Boy cartridges were.
Yep.
It came in a big cardboard box. You'd rip it open, it had a protection.
Oh my god, I remember that.
Protective case.
Yep.
And you just open the protective case and you have it.
Yep.
And then you bought something from Nintendo just to put all your protective cases.
Put all your things in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you just had this like plethora of stuff. Like, why can't they just like? They're selling so many fucking peripherals. Why don't they just sell fucking cartridge hard case?
Oh, there will be.
There has to be.
There will be, of course.
It's irrelevant to me. I can't wait till the PlayStation 5 comes out with that disc drive.
On the motherfucker too.
So yeah, that's the next bit of information here. Is that so? Obviously, a lot of information has come out about that. Of course, the Nintendo does ship with a 32 gig hard drive. So if you were hoping to
and if
download,
you love Nintendo and you have sensitive feelings, sorry, we're not very easy on them here.
We love Nintendo, so we're harsh on it. It's tough love here.
I don't love Nintendo.
I do love Nintendo, okay? I have a Pokemon tattooed on me. I love me some Nintendo, but that means I get to be harsh on them.
I have a Pikachu shrine over there.
Because that's what it takes,
Nintendo's the kind of company that would go out and jerk homeless people off for fun. Because it's a cool prank. It's a smart prank. And if you guys don't understand why they do it, then you don't get the humor behind the prank.
I don't.
Me either.
See, that's Nintendo though. That's just how Nintendo would operate. It's your fault.
Well, Nintendo,
it's your fault. You don't
has said that.
Yeah, Nintendo has said that because they jerk off homeless people.
No,
you don't know.
No.
That's what they said. They just said it too.
Nintendo has said that the reason the Wii
they
U
came
didn't
out last
do
year.
well,
They
right?
said
the
reason
Wii U didn't do well. We've looked into it. We know exactly
we listened.
why.
We know why it didn't do well.
You didn't understand.
We didn't
because we didn't explain it to you good enough.
Yeah, it's your fault. You didn't understand.
It's your fault.
Yeah.
What do you mean I didn't understand?
Jerking off a homeless guy is a funny fucking prank. If you don't understand, it's
I
your
still
fault
don't
that
get
you don't
that,
understand.
Like, I do understand. I own one.
Yeah.
You didn't
A
have
homeless
to,
guy?
I own a homeless guy. Yes.
God, man.
I've bought 2
It'd
Wii
be,
U's.
it'd be more useful than my Wii U.
I got 2
so,
homeless guys.
Just the fact that it's so like insulting. Like I don't get it.
32 gigs, right? So if you're hoping to buy anything digitally, like you're just fucking tough, like you're just shit out of luck, because they have shown that games, so Dragon Quest Heroes will be 32 gigs, the size of your memory. But if you know anything about consoles and how memory works, the
hard drive.
operating system takes room.
What's up, Sonic?
All that shit takes room.
You can't
on
fit
it.
32 gig game on a 32 gig
You
hard
could probably
drive.
fit 30 gigs, 31 gigs.
It's a Nintendo console. It probably has like 18 gig left.
To quote Peter, it's 2017. There's not much you can fit on a fucking 32 gig hard drive.
No, dude, I have like SD cards that are bigger than that.
So
And you're not cheap. There's no excuse. You're not cheap fucking memories these days. Holy shit.
So yeah, 32 gigs, right? That's all you're gonna get out of it. If you're downloading games, you're gonna be able to hold like, I think even showing small games. They're showing like 1-2 Switch and smaller games like that. I think you can hold like 5 games up onto it. Like if you're adding like Zelda, which everybody's gonna be buying because it's the only game worth buying at launch, and then like 4 other small games is all you can hold digitally.
I think I got the 256 gig PlayStation 4.
Thanks for the follow, Sonic.
Like the base model for the PlayStation 4, and I'm just now running into the problem where I'm like, oh fuck, well I have too much shit on there, but at least I have like all of the Division. I have like all of Battlefield 1. And
I never understood like people complain about the hard drive space on the PS4. Like I have the same one that came with it, and I play more games than most people. Not right now, but like I have pretty much a fucking huge library.
You know who buys too many games? This guy, and I
Yeah.
get them all digitally.
Yeah,
That's me.
I get them all digitally too. But like I can hold 10, 12 games any one time. I'm never playing 12 games at once.
Yeah.
When you delete the game, you don't delete the save game.
Honestly,
the only
I
thing
have
hate
some
about
games
buying
too.
new games is I get really excited to play a new game, and I have to fucking spend an hour and a half updating the motherfucker. Like,
I don't know about your internet, but it takes me like 5 minutes
Yeah.
maybe.
We
well,
burn
and
through
the
it pretty
install.
quick.
I put that shit in, put the disc in with a cup of coffee, and it's done.
motherfucker. Don't you install my internet?
But if you
don't even
download,
know.
if you do
You don't
digital,
even know where I live.
you can do this thing called preloading.
Yep.
So we like make a cup of coffee, we sit down, and we look at all the funny
Sounds so
posts of people
sexual.
saying how like how cold and fucking boring it is at GameStop out in the line.
I
And we
fucking-
laugh at them.
Are you talking about? I preload. I preload.
It turns
24/7.
Clock goes
Peter.
12:01, and we just go start, and we start playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do that.
People are
but
like, look at what I'm driving home with. You're like, look at my screenshot of me playing already. My
Right?
character's been
I
built.
fucking-
Like,
okay, I preload like a motherfucker. In the biz, they call it edging. I'm edging all the time.
and of course, the last bit of Nintendo news
Switch
is that
Pro now comes with a 64 gig.
okay, but
Surprised they didn't. Is there a Switch Pro? Is that a thing? I didn't pay attention.
probably. I don't care. It's 64. My,
Double the memory.
my PlayStation holds 500. So like, good for your 64 gigs. Or buy more memory, not from Nintendo.
What was the 64 gig SD card cost? Like $30, if that.
Yeah. And of course, last bit of news is, of course, Nintendo has actually done DLC.
I know.
for
I
Zelda
saw
Breath
that.
of the
Oh my
Wild.
god.
It will be $20.
It's all good news
And
tonight.
you can only get it on the season pass.
What's up?
You can
it's
only.
But
you
get
cannot buy
you get
individual bottles of it.
but you get a shirt that says Switch for Link to
Yeah.
wear. You can make him
Yeah.
wear Nintendo branded
Yeah.
gear in
Link.
the game.
Link can sell you a Switch.
It's a shirt that just has the Switch logo. It's a red one.
The expansion pass does come with
$20. You have to buy in credits. You can only buy credits in $40
Oh, I
allotments.
don't want to talk about it.
the season pass will come on March 3rd. It will launch with 3 new treasure chests. DLC Pack 1 will be out in summer, and it adds a new Cave of Trials challenge, new hard mode. Adds hard mode. And additional map features. DLC Pack 2 will be out in 2017, which will have a new original story, a new dungeon, and additional challenges. So Nintendo tried to defend this, right? Their defense of this.
I'm not against a season pass.
You don't fucking
no,
understand
but-
it.
No. So their defense of it was like, well, our DLC is different because it's not stuff we're like holding back from the game.
If you already
It's
know exactly what's going
stuff-
into it, then you know exactly
it's
holding it
stuff that like we thought about later.
Sounds like there's a hard mode,
yeah,
which probably just makes enemies hit harder
Yep.
and have a bigger health bar.
yeah, and you have a like smaller health bar.
Health bar. That's
Yeah.
hard mode.
The DLC Pack 2 doesn't even come out till holiday 2017. Let me put this in perspective, right? Okay, just think about this real quick, you guys. Nintendo says that this is stuff that they've worked on post-game, right? Breath of the Wild has been in production. Was supposed to launch on the Wii U, right? So they've spent how many years making the actual game? The entire Wii U's lifespan, probably a year or two beforehand because it was supposed to launch as a Wii U game, plus all the way up to now, right? So let's call it 5-6 years, right, that they've been working on this game. Do you really believe you are going to get an entirely new storyline and a new dungeon that was not ready to come out by this fucking holiday season? Do you truly believe that? Because that's just asinine.
I hear you, but let me play devil's advocate for a sec.
What?
I take that and I give you're just a hater.
Okay.
That's all I
your
have.
argument?
That's
Okay. So rather than the adult taking attack his army, you just attacked him.
Look,
That's
the
cool. I
Switch
understand that.
has Zelda and Skyrim, so
Yep.
I mean, what else do you
Oh
want?
yeah, well yeah. What else could the fucking?
My PC has Skyrim.
By the way, guys, if you guys are planning on getting a Switch and you want to play that fucking Skyrim, disclaimer: it's not remastered Skyrim.
Right?
Yep.
No, it has to be. Like even the regular version's cool as fuck.
The regular version's cool as fuck.
While we're
but it's
picking on
also
the
being
fucking,
played on a fucking
picking
cell
on
phone.
Nintendo, I did read that article the other day from I don't know where I read it. I think it was Jason Schreier, but I might be wrong. Bone to pick with, as I was talking about buying credits, like games and credits. Why the fuck does Sony still make you buy things and credits? Did you read that article?
I did not, but
what
it's
did they make me
asinine.
buy in fucking credits?
Because remember, like Microsoft used to do that. They used to hide like the real value of money with like
Right.
Xbox currency. They don't even do that anymore. You can
Yeah.
just buy what you want. Like Sony, you can't buy like the actual thing. You have to buy allotments. Like you can't spend less than $10.
That's not true anymore.
No,
What?
it is. Still.
I've never done that.
Yeah,
I just
so-
buy fucking games with my money.
Yeah, you just buy the game. You just click on the game
Like
itself and hit buy
PlayStation's
now.
always been cash. What would make fucking sense though, and this is something I want, is if you could buy tokens and use those tokens to buy fucking Japanese stuff.
No, so you're right though. If you buy
That would make
allotments amount of money, there is a minimum.
Yeah, there's
allotment.
you can't buy like
But
the
you,
exact amount of money.
you can though. You can click on the game and just buy the game.
Sure, I got you. But
So
you can't
like,
buy
if I buy a game that's $64.85, if I have no funds in my wallet, I can just pick on the game and hit buy
And
now
it'll refresh your
pay
wallet, and then, yeah,
$64.85.
I got you,
It'll
but-
pay that amount.
I got you. But why can't I just buy whatever amount of money I want to spend?
I don't know. Probably something with Sony's stupid framework. You know, why can't I change my name?
We know that. but
Yeah, I mean, you get what I'm saying though. There's obviously there's different issues there.
I like how they're like,
I'm
we
just
can't
pissed
fix that. And I
because
guess you
I
can. You can
can't-
just start again. Start
I
over.
can't
Yeah.
fucking get Gundam Breaker DLC because I have to have a fucking Japanese account.
That's
I
like,
can
There's
help
this whole
you
rant
do
about it.
that.
I just have to make a Japanese account and then like merge the two,
I mean, okay.
and then I can do that.
You can just spoof your location.
No, it has to be. I have to actually have like a
Yeah,
Japanese
spoof your location and then make a Japanese account.
I don't need to spoof my location. You can
Oh,
just
they
make
would,
a Japanese
you can?
account.
Okay. I have an Australian account.
No,
I
'cause
buy
see,
stuff on the
it's
Australian
fucking
PlayStation Store.
With PlayStation, it don't matter where the fuck you are
They don't give a
in
shit.
the world. They don't give a shit. They just in order to buy stuff. Like in order for me to buy things, I have to buy a card from fucking Singapore. So I have to go to like PlayAsia.com and I have to buy a currency card from fucking like
there.
Singapore or something like that because you can't
God,
buy it in
yeah.
USD. So that's what I was saying. Like the token system.
There's no like.
Is there a way?
conversion.
Would be for
No.
PlayStation?
What broke my brain was like, obviously,
not.
I bought my PlayStation in Australia. I registered my Sony account in Australia, and then I moved to the States in 2009, and I went to like play my PlayStation, and I couldn't log on with my Australian account and buy things because you need to. They'll only take a U.S. credit card if you're in the U.S.
Right.
I couldn't use an Australia.
That's
You would have to buy currency and then put the currency on.
It was a whole
and
mess.
Then,
Then I called them and they're like, "Nope, you just have
You
to
just
make
can't
a
do
new
it?
account."
And
So I
that,
had to
that,
make a
I
whole
think
new
that's
account.
probably because a lot of like trade stuff.
So
But
now
that's
he's-
political at that point. That has to
Yeah.
do with.
I know, but
currency.
like the fuck, I
But-
could just change it. Why can't I just put an American debit
But
card and just
Sony,
change it to the
because
American store?
because it all eventually goes to Sony. Now that's what I was saying. If Sony had like a token system,
that would be too easy.
but it would be easy. but
It'd be too easy. That's the problem. It'd be too easy.
But
You
of
know who's
course,
worse than this? And like gaming's Apple. Apple does the same thing. I had some lady the other day who's like a Canadian, and like she obviously has spent a ton of money over the years buying Canadian like music and stuff in the Canadian iTunes store. She moved to America, and then she like wants this app. It's not available in the U.S. store. I mean, in the Canadian store at all. It's just the U.S. store, and she can't switch accounts entirely because she'll just lose all her old stuff.
That
So
sucks.
she just can't have that app.
That sucks.
Yeah, even though she lives here. That's the same idea. Like, what the fuck?
that's one of the disadvantages to digital anything.
So we've talked PlayStation, we've talked Nintendo. Now we will talk Microsoft. Microsoft has announced that they will be doing an E3 conference, but they'll be doing it a day early, same day
so
as
weird.
Bethesda on Sunday. So I was talking to you guys earlier about the reason I think that this is coming, right? So I think that the reason Microsoft is going on Sunday is because year after year after year, right? So Microsoft comes out, they do their press conference, and like an
And Sony
hour or two
fucking
later,
destroys them.
Sony
I'm
shows
a little
up and
biased,
does their
but-
conference, right?
Yep.
Always. And regardless if you think Microsoft has a better conference than Sony. Whatever. That's all gonna be your
It's not really a
opinion,
matter of
what you
opinion.
like.
It's like it's a fact.
No, there's bias, right? There's opinions there, right?
I'm not biased at all.
If what you look at is if you're waiting for Microsoft announcements and they announce stuff, you get excited about that. If you're not waiting for Sony announcements and you're like, oh, they announced a lot of cool shit, but whatever, like I didn't get hyped because there was nothing I was waiting for, right? So you could say Microsoft's announcement was better, but like at the end of the day, what happens is like Microsoft goes, they get like an hour of like press conference, and then Sony comes in, and Sony's like, this is all of our stuff, and then it's like Sony information for the rest of the day, right? Because Sony was last. They're the most current news, so that's what everyone's talking about, and then they start comparing them.
To be fair, Sony's like real late night, especially if you're on the East Coast. Like
true.
A lot of people don't realize until the morning what happened.
That's true. So. But that's another reason that people keep that information going for so long is because that same reason. They're like, oh, like maybe these people missed it. So in the morning, everyone goes and looks for that Sony stuff, right?
I think honestly, Microsoft had a really good conference last year. Sony had a really fucking good conference. Like, theirs was fucking phenomenal. But
for Microsoft, though, I think the move to Sunday's smart. Because I think what it's going to do...
It's going to annoy a lot of developers who have to fucking leave
whatever.
early.
Who gives a shit about that?
As far as a consumer, what's going to happen for Microsoft is they're going to announce it and they're going to get a whole day's worth of news before Sony comes out and announces anything. It's going to be
Microsoft, Bethesda. Bethesda's going to be probably what I say. It's going to be
Fallout 4 VR.
Fallout 4 VR. They're probably going to announce Skyrim VR.
I could see that. They're going to announce...
Isn't that already a thing?
No.
They're just going to announce
There's
like a bunch of...
for it.
A bunch of the stuff that we expect, like expansions onto Fallout, a new Elder Scrolls Online expansion or something.
Yeah, I think that's it.
They chopped it. They're like they were only doing these. They're one and done.
There's so much content on Fallout. Like I have no shit to play there.
So I'm playing Fallout 4 right now, and I've chewed through the main campaign twice.
Have you done the survival mode yet? You tried that?
Because I haven't even fucking been to the DLC places yet. I just got to Far Harbor, and I've been playing that game. I play it, a umpteen number of fucking hours a month, and like I have two main characters. But now I went through vanilla, and then I modded the fuck out of the game, and I'm playing through my mod of the fuck game, and it's super nice. But it's just there's so much fucking content in just those DLCs. If anyone demands more, then you need to fucking calm down.
Yeah, right.
Enjoy your games. It's like when people are like, after I'm done eating food, they're like, "Did you chew your food? Did you taste it?" Like, fuck you.
You just ran through a storyline and you didn't really. Like there's so many things to explore that don't even have story missions in them.
Like there's I found out like in Diamond City, there's a fucking bar on the upper level. I didn't even know it was there. I never knew it was fucking there because it's just like right off to the left out of the way.
That's what I like about those games. Like a lot of games they'll obviously spend a lot of hard work doing things, but the missions will be like, oh, go to this place and do that, and you're just going there to see what they made, basically.
Yep.
Like,
well, even but
Fallout,
they don't do that.
No, because they've made places that they know people probably never see. Like, that's crazy.
You might never come to that, or you might. Like,
there's so many games that are like, oh, you have to go over there to go see that now. Like,
Morrowind was notorious for that. Because in Morrowind, the main quest sends you we'll say 25 places.
Wasn't like the main cities like Skyrim did?
Yeah, it was just the main cities that sends you 25 different fucking caves and shit like that, and then you beat the game. And then even if you go through any of the side quests, it's going to throw you through another 15 places. There's fucking 3,000 places in fucking Morrowind. You won't see. I played that game
unless you just walk around and adventure and look for shit.
There was at the point where I played that game so much, I'm like, okay, I'm missing shit. I have the fucking game guide and I have a checklist of places I've been and seen.
Nice.
And I still have not seen all of that.
There's an absurd amount in that
I also haven't beat fucking Morrowind. I just want to point that out.
That's fair.
I've played that game for consistently. There was a 2-year period where I played one.
It's like all you played.
I'll be right back.
I don't know. I'm super excited for. I think it's a smart move for Microsoft. Regardless of how you feel, I think
it's smart. I don't think that we as gamers should truly have any fucking opinion on this whatsoever, because this is their time, their keynote. They are not necessarily part of E3. It's during the E3 weekend, obviously.
Yep.
And so it's just the timing that they do that. I mean, you look at Ubisoft last year was separate. I think also.
Well, they're
Microsoft
technically every single
they're
press conference is technically not part of E3.
Right.
They're all like extensions from E3. None of them are.
They just happen to be at the same time, and
because that's where all the news is coming from. That's where you want to be. That's where you want to be showing stuff off.
Every creative control over when they do that.
Yeah.
They have every decision-making ability to do that. And honestly, it's not a bad idea. They get a full 24 hours of fucking only
Coverage.
Microsoft news before Sony gets up on there and does whatever.
Yep.
And so, honestly, that's going to put Sony in a problem, in a situation where Sony's going to be like, fuck, well, we got to do something dope.
Well, that's
and
that's the
thing, is they don't have enough time to do that shit anymore.
No, they do that. That's the thing, though. Like, dude, you give a company 24 hours to like be like, they're just gonna decide.
I
like,
guarantee
do we?
you, Sony's keynote's already written out. They're all.
Oh no, I'm sure, but I bet you there's like some behind the scenes shit. They're like, we don't need to show this off if we don't need to, but we're gonna wait to see what they show, and depending on what they show off, if we need to, we're gonna like some shit that's like behind the scenes we haven't really talked about, like some Last of Us 2 footage or something like that. They're gonna be like, we don't need to show this to people.
Red
It's too
Dead.
far off. But
Do you think it's gonna
if
be Sony?
Microsoft hits hard, we're gonna drop this.
Do you think Sony's going to be the one who shows off Red Dead?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, guaranteed.
they're gonna have something with it.
Yeah,
Rockstar owes them a game.
yeah.
Rockstar's owes them a game, but it doesn't have to be fucking Red Dead.
I don't know. I'm sure they probably get some like guilt trips, probably weekly.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
Right.
you're
And
dropping Red Dead.
also, Rockstar probably made so much fucking money off of GTA 5. They're probably in a position to be like,
Dude,
we
it
don't
is
fucking
still
owe
like
you
one of the
anything.
top-selling games. Like,
Oh, yeah, no.
consistently month by month.
It's one of the top played games on Steam.
It's ridiculous. Like,
per month. Like,
Not to mention they made $1 billion in 24 hours or something
yeah,
when they
it's
launched.
absurd.
Like
That game.
they
is
could
just
literally probably
blown
just
away.
hire another studio to make the game just for Sony and then fire them just like to get it out of the way.
yeah, they could make like bully VR experience. Like, you
Just
get
get
beat the
bullied
fuck up.
up.
Yeah.
That'd be terrible.
Someone's just calls
Sony
you
really
a
doesn't
fucking
like
bender the whole
take
time.
too much influence, like a little bit. Like they did cancel the, obviously canceled the announcement for the PlayStation Pro at the end of the last one, I
yeah,
guess.
you could tell. It was so obvious.
But they don't like sway that much. I don't think over the long term they kind of just have their plan. They stick to
I mean,
it.
we're gonna see. I mean, we'll speculate as we get closer, but I think that we'll have big titles come out from Sony. But
There
Microsoft,
is so much
I
coming out
guarantee
this year.
Microsoft is keynote is going to be primarily on Xbox One VR
It's
functions
gonna be Scorpio.
and Scorpio.
That's gonna be the
What
big
happened
one.
to fucking God of War? Did they come out in March? Did they get delayed? They were awful quiet.
I feel like it's further back than that.
I don't think they ever announced when it was coming out.
Yeah,
I thought they said March. They did.
that seems way too early for God of War. Skeptical. I mean, maybe. This is
March
one
20
that these
oh, no,
two
it's 20.
are going to be super fucking excited about, you guys. Crash Bandicoot Remaster Trilogy gets a release date.
You already pre-ordered it, right?
It's coming out June 30th, and it will cost $40. So
Cool.
$40 will get you Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3, all fully remastered on your PS4.
We saw them. We got some time when we were at PSX to see it. The fucking game's cool.
You already pre-ordered it, right?
What's up? No,
I thought you liked Crash Bandicoot.
I do, but
There's
I'm
so
gonna,
much about it.
I'm gonna buy it when it comes out, probably day one. But I'm not gonna pre-order it. I don't pre-order
I
shit.
don't
When
think
was the
you
last
like
time
it.
I pre-ordered a game?
For Honor.
Fallout. I didn't pre-order it.
Didn't pay for
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 I
Honor.
didn't
Come on,
pay
easy.
for it.
Ubisoft. Let's see those Ubisoft underwear he's wearing. Come
Come
on.
on, get out of here with that.
Ubisoft
Oh.
didn't hook you up with 2 copies of that damn game.
No, I almost bought one though, and I almost had an extra one because I almost bought it, but then I got it. So
Give me Spyro. I completely agree.
Please
Spyro
don't
be-
give me Spyro.
Hell
no,
yeah.
please don't give me
No.
Spyro. Because you know what?
Don't give me Spyro or Crash Bandicoot.
give me Crash Bandicoot.
Last of Us 2.
Because okay, but Crash Bandicoot, right, is fun because it's like a platformer and everything like that. Spyro was a puzzle game, and if you go back and play a child's puzzle game as an adult,
it's still Crash Bandicoot is a child's platformer.
dude, go through
It's
and
barely even a fucking platform.
dude, it is not a child's platform. That game is hard as shit.
Crash Bandicoot's like a stop and go Star Fox.
Dude, I love Crash Bandicoot. It's great. It is hard. It is fucking
Spyro
fun.
has better environments. Like
Agreed.
Spyro's
like
was
Kids Mario
Spyro
Sunshine.
was PlayStation's
Mario.
Mario
Open
Sunshine.
world. No, it's
We'll call
like
it
Mario
PlayStation's
64.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Until like Ratchet and Clank and that other one, Jack and Daxter came out.
Yeah.
So
I can see that.
All those
Um,
games can burn, and now we'll never have another Medieval. So
If you're excited for it,
Thanks,
though,
Sony.
$40 will get you all 3 of those games, which I think is I'm personally excited for.
that's a big if.
Peter, I don't need that negativity. And this other one is Peter's favorite news. PlayStation now dumping the Vita, PS3, and everything else, except for PS4 and PC. So if you don't know
You didn't
what
complete that
PlayStation-
sentence. You said PlayStation.
okay,
now
first
dumping.
off, I hate the fucking
PlayStation now dumping Vita.
I know, but in the
PS3.
sentence, think about it. PlayStation is now dumping.
yeah. So
PlayStation now
the way
dumping.
that title is
Yeah.
written, the way that title is written is fucking retarded.
It is.
PlayStation is dumping PlayStation now.
That's not how it's written,
Oh,
Peter.
I know.
Okay, I read the
So
fucking title.
The PS3, the Vita are
TVs.
dumping PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
I just feel sorry for the people who bought like 5,000
So,
Sony
which is
Bravias
fine,
because
because
of the logo that
honestly,
said you can play PlayStation games on them.
Here's my idea, my business plan for PlayStation Now.
Dump the
just
whole
fucking
thing.
dump it.
Yeah.
Get rid of the whole thing.
Get rid of it.
Because
Waste of
I've
money.
Cut your
tried
losses
it.
and move the fuck on.
I tried it. I got that fucking free 10 days or like that.
I got into the beta and it was just, oof.
I literally would rather choke on fucking 20 wieners than do that. And when I'm hot dogs.
They spend a lot of money on Gaikai though, so they got like prove it to themselves, and they just like dig deeper. They're like, no, we're gonna go in 200%. Like, no, that worked.
Like, it's just because
400%.
it's
then.
like watching an interactive YouTube video that doesn't fucking buffer right.
Yeah.
So
It's fine for like puzzle games
What's
and
even
stuff.
sadder
But
though, right, is so the Bravia TVs, which cost a ton of money, will actually lose support for them on April 1st.
yeah, so if you bought one at Christmas because it had a big logo on it, so you can play PlayStation on it, because they advertise that pretty fucking heavily.
The rest of the
You should have luck.
product will have it until the August 15th. So the Bravias end beforehand.
The rest of the product? What do you mean?
So like the PlayStation, the
They
Vitas,
end first.
and all that stuff will actually hold it until August 15th, where the Bravia TVs will get rid of it on April
I don't really
1st.
get it though, because I'm sure the TV and the Vita, and I'm no expert here, and PlayStation does things retarded, but they probably just have clients on them. Like, are they really doing anything? Like, you just have servers up, don't you? Like that. These are just
I wonder how many people actually utilize that shit.
Not enough.
Obviously
and that's
not
the problem.
enough,
Yeah.
but-
Well, it's because it's terrible, right?
that's
so
not the
you
problem. The
can't-
problem is the service.
You can't stream games and do it well. You
We've
just
talked
can't.
about this. It's not physically possible.
I can't even fucking stream Gundam Breaker because every scene in that game is blocked.
It'll never work. It's just a fact
No.
of
But
life.
so the way PlayStation Now works is you are streaming the game to you,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you were
yeah.
streaming Netflix, and it's fine with Netflix because all
No,
it
like I
needs to
said,
do-
it's like watching an interactive YouTube video.
Yeah.
That's
but no
all it
matter
is.
like
That doesn't
what,
buffer.
physically,
Yeah.
like if I push a button on the control, the speed of light is the fastest thing possible, and I see what happens
so-
at speed of light. No matter how fast that
on
internet
top
is,
of the lag, there's times
Yeah.
where the graphics stop buffering, so you
Yep.
get like the freeze and then like the depixelization.
you could literally have
Yeah.
pure fiber optic cable, and the server could be right there, and it would still be lag.
Still fucking lag hard
Because
It's-
I'm still gonna see what happens faster than you can get that message back.
because
to me.
yeah,
still
yeah,
streaming.
because,
because that's
because like
physics.
we're because as gamers we this is something we take for granted. It's super subconscious, but it's like when we put our fucking controller into our consoles, the input that we press down on the button, we are conditioned. There is lag between that. Honestly, even off the disc.
That's gotten
Yeah, yeah.
pretty much to the
But
point
we're
though where I can
conditioned
handle
for
that.
We are
Yeah.
conditioned
Yeah.
for that. And it's so fast that you don't even barely notice it.
Yep.
But if you add fucking 170 milliseconds on top of that fucking shit, it is noticeable.
Yep.
You can suffer motion sickness from that.
Yep.
It can cause confusion. Like
It doesn't work that way. And I've already Peter and I were discussing it. There's a simple solution to that, right? So you offer the PlayStation Now service like you offer the PlayStation Plus service, right? You have PlayStation
But I agree
Plus.
though. What's the difference? There's really not. I have a better version of PlayStation Plus then, but you were saying like just
or-
download the games.
But
or
no,
it's the
that's-
same thing.
That's exactly what you need to do. Is because with PlayStation Plus, right, your free games every month, you download them for free, and you maintain those games and can re-download
I solved
them
this. No, 'cause
as
that's
long as you have
fucking too
PlayStation
complicated.
Plus. No, and then when you get PlayStation Now, it's the same thing.
complicated.
You download them. If you stop paying for PlayStation
Yeah, okay.
Now, you don't own
now
the
we're
fucking
on,
games
now we're on
anymore.
the same thing. Here we go. This is what
That's
we do.
it.
It's
Okay.
just
That's it.
open
That's
up
it.
digital
Done.
backwards compatibility on emulation. It is start
So just
emu-
do exactly what
re-emulate
Microsoft
your
did.
fucking PS2.
Just do exactly what
Your
Microsoft
PS3.
did.
You can't though.
Yeah. Well, why
Those
can't you?
32-bit systems. You just can't. It doesn't work. That way.
Fucking.
It's
well,
a whole
Microsoft
different.
does that shit.
No, they did with the Xbox 360, which it's a whole lot more complicated than that.
I'm sure it's.
I'm
more
sure they-
complicated,
there
and
is
I don't
obviously
wanna
a way
hear
to
the
do
explanation,
everything.
and I don't like you bursting. I don't appreciate you bursting my bubble.
But what you
Okay.
could do is just like charge them $30, give them the game for 1 month, and then even if they keep paying for it, take it away.
So follow Nintendo's model. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, you know that Nintendo Switch has the same thing, but you only get to play
Or
the
never
game
even
that
offer
month,
it in the first
and then you get to
place,
keep playing it
and
if you
devote
buy
more
it.
fucking resources to making PS4 games.
Yeah, we could just make games.
Yeah.
Like, why is that like? Every game always just says I want games, and every fucking like studio, publisher, developer ever is like, let's try this. No, I just want games. Let's try that. Let's try this peripheral. No, I just want games. I'm good.
Give me a solid
I
game with a
understand
good
you want
story.
a game, but here's
me a
here's
controller and
program
a
that does
game.
your taxes.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you put it on your
Well, I mean,
face
that's
and
not
walk
bad.
around. Like, no, I just want a game. I got a controller already. Just put the game on TV.
That's my problem. Like I got the PlayStation VR.
Yep.
I don't have fucking games for it.
Yep.
There's no games for it.
It's just
It's
not.
like
There's no games for it, or just you
There
don't like
is
the games
games.
that
There's
are
There's games
There's
that
not
don't
enough.
fucking interest me.
There's
Like,
not enough games.
and a
for
lot
it.
of those games require the fucking PlayStation Move, which I don't fucking have, and I will never buy because I'm not fucking an idiot. Like, And so, like,
You know,
it
you
was
just
the
bought a $400
PlayStation VR
headset.
He
a
didn't
savvy
buy it. I
purchase.
gave it to him.
Yeah, I didn't purchase
was a
it.
gift.
It was a gift. So yeah, it was savvy. Do I
Yeah.
appreciate it? Yes. Do I play it often? Yeah. Is it one thing? It's
You
the
play Star Wars, X-Wing
Okay,
mission.
first off, that Star Wars X-Wing VR
fucking
mission,
sweet.
It's fucking dope. It is
So
super
good.
fucking cool.
So
And I've gotten
good.
to the point where I can actually I turn the whole entire HUD off and I just use the instruments in the X-Wing.
Nice. That's awesome.
So I can actually fly instruments in the X-Wing at this point. But I don't know, like, I just wish that. Okay, first off, let's look at the most notable fucking PlayStation VR game. Full $60 fucking Eve Valkyrie.
Valkyrie.
They shut that studio down.
They shut that fucking studio down.
So what you have is what you
now
have.
they still have it out there. They still have them fucking servers up, but you fucking
Don't expect
You'll
any
never get an
DLC
update. You'll never
or
get a
updates
patch.
or
You'll
nothing.
never
And it
get
was supposed to
anything.
be this like interactive thing, this whole fucking spiel. Like
They put a lot of
none
money
of
into
that's gonna
that.
fucking happen. And
That
it's a
surprised me.
$60 fucking title.
And they were at PSX too. Like
It was a good game, but so I've
They
played
were definitely at PS.
Yeah,
I've played
we
a
were there.
decent,
We saw them,
I've
but,
played a
like-
decent amount of VR, and we got to play Valkyrie at PSX. I could not sit down and play probably more than a match or two of that at a time.
I would, but that's the same rule applies to everything VR for me. Like one or two matches. And I
That
played
game
fine.
was so fast paced though.
was
Like
cool.
it was cool. It was fucking super. And maybe like over time, if you like acclimated yourself to it, you could go longer. But fuck,
It's
dude,
still
that game was
surprising, though, that, like,
fast and like
You think that if they planned
incredible.
to shut the studio down, they wouldn't have let them come to
Also,
PSX. Like
if you're
there's
gonna get the
obviously like
PlayStation
writing on the
VR,
wall usually.
If you're gonna get the PlayStation VR, get the PlayStation Pro.
Yeah.
Because
I heard the
Yeah.
update to PlayStation. I mean, to Final Fantasy 15 like makes it like
Oh, the
unplayable
Pro,
now.
Like, breaks it. Yeah,
For the Pro, or is it the regular? I think
it's
it
the
breaks it for
Pro.
the regular.
I think it breaks it. It breaks it for the Pro because
Oh,
it's
does
like
it?
the Pro update
Oh, okay.
breaks it. Yeah, so it basically it doesn't increase anything. It just breaks things.
I thought they increased
So-
it like 60 frames. Now the regular ones can't handle it.
No,
See,
no, no.
we're starting to get into that. I feel like we're starting to get into that rocky consumer period with video games, where as it becomes more famous, as it becomes a bigger business, is we're just now starting to get shoveled shit.
We've always been shoveled shit.
Well, true, but
We've always been
it's
shoveled shit.
more obvious now, and I think that the accountability on these developers and these companies' parts is getting less and less. Like,
It's hard to-
shit is just becoming standard, so they don't have to.
I don't
apologize
know.
for
We
it.
like okay, so we've gotten rid of some companies who just put out like shit, like THQ. Like,
THQ.
Thank
they're
God.
not here anymore because that's what they did. And honestly, so now there's like THQ Nordic, right? And they're like, yeah, we're currently working on 30 games. I'm like,
Yeah, I know. Like,
Why
they
don't you
both
just build
did.
fucking one? Like,
put out one game that's good. And it'll sell and people enjoy it.
Right,
'Cause if
everyone,
you
like,
put out
argument always
30
gives
things
us,
of
like,
shit, like it
The
just
Wii was the greatest console ever. Like, no, it just had a billion games and they were 99% garbage.
yeah. Honestly, everybody always argues to me that like the 64 was the greatest console ever, and I was like, no, it just wasn't. There was 10 amazing games for it. Then there was like, 20 decent games, and then shit. And that's fine. Like it had the games that were good for it were fucking amazing for it, and it's the 10 games that you
I
own
just
that are on your
remembered-
shelf. That's it.
I just remembered the only reason to get PlayStation Now is for Tokyo Jungle.
There is some games that are playable,
fucking game is
puzzle
boss.
games and things that don't require Twitch. Like you forget
Right,
about a Twitch
yeah.
platform, or you
To-
can
you know
forget
what's-
about a
you ever played
first-person
Tokyo
shooter.
Jungle?
Nope.
You start out as an animal, and you have to go around and eat, and then you have to find a mate, and then you mate, and then you play as your offspring who get your thing, and you have to destroy like this post-apocalyptic Tokyo where everyone's gone.
Sounds like something you'd play.
It's fucking fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a super fun fucking game. It's hard.
How many dicks are in it?
Huh?
How many dicks are in it?
I don't know.
7.
There's no fucking
Don't lie
dicks.
to me as if you don't know.
They're animals. There's no humans.
So animals have dicks?
White
You can ask
chicks
Josh
fuck dogs.
exactly any game and how many dicks are in it, and he'll tell you
That's not true.
because he counts them.
I don't fucking count dicks.
Dicks count him.
I can just tell you if there's dicks in the game or not. I don't count 'em.
He's like, I don't know how many. I can just give you a yes or a no, a thumbs up or down.
That's because if I think that you can see a fucking
No dicks, no interest. That's right.
yeah, but you gotta watch fucking wolves fuck. Like
So there are dicks.
I played as a golden retriever puppy, and I got
see that?
eaten by a fucking bear.
I saw that video that somebody shared today. I think in the group of the mod to GTA, the Lion King one. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Timon fucking Pumbaa. Timon's running around with the machine gun.
Yeah, he's
so okay.
he's a
fucking looks so perfect.
Some of the mods that people put out there, the best one to this day
I was actually
is,
in that shirt.
is the Doom mod.
Brutal Doom?
No, the Doom mod that turns every single surface into Tim Allen's face. Jesus. It's a single picture of Tim Allen, and it's every single surface. We're talking your gun,
and
your
when he
bullets,
shoots, it's like,
yeah, the walls, the enemies, and it's all the same picture of Tim Allen.
Oh my god!
There are some cool Doom mods. There's some fucking cool ass Doom mods out there. There's one that turns everything into a fucking 3D Sonic. There's one that turns it into a first-person Mega Man.
I saw somebody just today modded their fucking Chevy Cruze or something to play Doom on the console.
Oh no, I saw that. Yeah,
I was like, does nobody see the problem with that?
Yeah.
You can't obviously play while you're driving. At least you shouldn't.
Other people can though.
Okay, but my buddy had a PS3
Skyrim that turns
installed.
turns all the dragons into Thomas the Tank Engines.
Yeah, that's cool. My buddy had
Macho Man Randy Savage.
had a PS3 installed in his car, but he actually had to get an extra battery to run it because that fucking thing drains so much power.
Jesus,
That's outrageous.
that's too much. You can't do that shit.
All right, you guys, that is all the news. That's everything important, interesting, and fun in news this last week. Since we ran a little bit long, Josh, we're going to go to you for the developer shout out.
Developer shout out. We appreciate your hard work.
Since we have some people who are new, if you don't know, our developer shout out is something we do every show where we pick a developer that you probably don't know and we give them the respect,
sometimes we don't even
honor,
know them,
and attention that they deserve because they are making games, you guys, that have pushed the industry forward, that are doing something different.
They're just making games and working hard, and we just talk about them.
And we talk about them. So make sure you guys check these people out. This is a great part of the show, you guys. Go show them some love. They always appreciate it. Just shoot them a tweet. Hey, really appreciate what you're doing. I promise you, it'll mean a lot to them. So who's our developer of the week, sir?
Our developer of the week is Julian Thiennot, or also known as Ortl.
And
he is most notable the creator of Cookie Clicker.
Cookie Clicker. Drop some knowledge.
You may think that, oh god, hello, well, Cookie Clicker, gotta be a troll. No, Cookie Clicker is an incremental game that's based off of some pretty heavy duty fucking mathematics in the background. This guy was like a Java wizard when he makes this. Like a lot of things he makes is Java. He has this game called Nested. It's not really a game, but it's called a simulation of everything, where it starts off with the universe. You click the universe and it goes down to galactic superclusters, and you just click opening up these, and as it goes down, it just procedurally generates down to planets, into plants, into microbes, into atoms, into base elements. Fucking nutty shit. He's very interested into procedural generation and how that works and how that can push the gaming forward. But basically, he's the grandfather of the idle game. So if there's games out there called like Tap Titans now, you got all the Cookie Clicker clones. You have fucking Fap Titans even, where it's basically Tap Titans, but you buy hentai with your cookies.
You know a lot about these.
I like idle games.
Did you ever do the Cookie Clicker when Steam did their big summer sale? I think it was last year or the
their,
year before. It was
their
like a
game.
Cookie Clicker.
They had a
copy.
Cookie Clicker type thing. They had a clicker.
And like it was everyone had to like mass group up and click the monster to get the sale going. So of course I did that for like half an hour. I was like, okay, and then I downloaded like an Insta Clicker and like did 1,000 clicks a second, which I'm sure lots of people doing.
Yeah.
And even then, it still took hours to fucking.
Yeah.
So he's also worked with Artex Entertainment too, that released a game on mobile device called Adventure Quest Dragons. He's currently working on a game right now called Legacy. I've only seen the icons for, but it seems like a really interesting.
What's like the concept? Do you know?
I don't know what the concept is. I'll have to research it because I just recently saw it on Twitter. But I think it's going to be like a Cookie Clicker style game, probably procedural generation, but with a hero.
Okay.
And like owning a kingdom, I think, and leaving a legacy probably. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But it looked the fucking something like the items that he had looked really interesting. Like human sacrifice produces meat, then bone, and the bone produces faith into like population control.
I remember like fucking like not even procedure generation, but like games like blew our minds when like every time you play them, the story like was different. Yep. Because like you get like a different version of it. And it was like just 10 versions they put in there, but like
he also
such a cool feature.
His website is it looks like it's ortel.dashnet.org.
How do you spell that?
ORTEIL. Ortel. But he has a game called it's not a game, it's just a Java-based thing called it's called Slap My Tits and Call Me Shirley. And it
Is it really?
Yeah, and it just generates expletives. So like I'll replay this right here, and it's like, well, prance around my shiggity and call me Pedro, or such gems as, well, bite my fanny and call me daddy.
So it's just randomly.
It's just random generation, and like he's got just like some like procedural generation stories on here, like Tea Party, which is an interactive story that progresses. It's in progress, so it's an interactive story that is generated out. Turtle Toy, which is a fractal generation based upon some turtle based like Java fucking scripting language type shit that builds fucking fractal mathematics in it.
I love how like fucking interested you are in this like stuff. Like you're actually teaching me something about this.
It's actually really cool too because obviously like
he's a kid. He's a kid doing this.
Some of these games like you look at on the surface and they seem cookie clicker. You look at that and it's.
I know we like told mad shit about like No Man's Sky, but holy shit, that's probably a lot of work
going into that. Yeah, so like
the mathematics that go inside of No Man's Sky are fucking insane.
Yeah,
too bad the game's no fun.
It's like the same thing with like.
I'm sure it wasn't easy.
It's like you have to fucking like if you want to optimize how you buy your upgrades in Cookie Clicker and how you sell when you sell what you get and how to properly get
there's so much depth. There is depth to it.
You're fucking
if you look for it.
You're using some pretty high level fucking like
even like on a base level. I do a little bit of programming stuff like web dev, but a lot of stuff I do is procedurally generated to a point.
Right.
Like this like pages, the web pages you go to aren't just written like that. They get made at runtime. So, but you have to not only procedurally generate what you want, but you have to limit it because the resources you use, if you make more than you need, it's just ridiculous. What if you like No Man's Sky? Sure, it's infinitely made, but what if you tried to generate that whole world every time somebody came in? They couldn't handle that. You have to like limit it.
Boundaries, where. How far out is it going to generate, and when is that generation?
And why is it going to generate, and where like, and that's so like important.
What triggers generation?
There is
the server is not unlimited.
Yeah, and then the things obviously have to make sense, right? So you don't want to go to a planet and like, oh, so it dropped like fire underneath water because like that doesn't work. So you then have to set parameters. Trees have to exist on land, and land has to exist at this height, and then there can be mountains, but like you don't want to. Put something inside a mountain unless you can mine, and then like trees aren't going to be in.
Even just like think about like flying in space. So you take off the planet, you start flying. Yep. Yeah, like, do you generate the planet in front of them, or do we generate all the planets random? Because they could just turn left.
Yep.
And fuck, if we didn't generate the planet, then they're going to see it pop up, and you don't want that.
Or you're going to see it load, which
you don't want
God
either.
help if it loads. My
but
immersion dog.
Space is good for loading because things can
come into view.
Darkness, they can come into view, which works in space. It kind of gives you a little bit more freedom for that. Yeah. But still, you
don't want like things to like fucking just pop.
Like
I like how Elite Dangerous does it. Elite Dangerous already generated the entire galaxy, but everything was just issued a code, and so it will not produce graphics until a player loads into the zone. And when the player loads into the zone, it basically loads a code based off of actual stellar data that says, okay, this rocky body is going to be this, which means we'll apply this texture to it. It'll be this size. It'll be spinning this fast.
Work, honestly, though.
So, it's real cool, but you got to remember that to generate that on a level and actually like press a button because like everything that we can see with our eyes right now that we have on actual stellar charts exists like it does in that game, but everything that doesn't exist like on the other side of the excretion disk of the center of the galaxy, we have no fucking clue. So they just have to use basic trends. So they actually had people go out on the fucking Draconic Stele, and which is it's like IB Draconis type thing. It's a scale basically on how like,
using words
life populations.
So.
It's an incredible mathematical thing. And they went out there and they applied that. And they analyzed the data of the stars that they had right now and basically said, okay. And they put this all into a formula. Then they took that formula and shrunk it down.
They don't know what's really out there.
Generation.
So they just made a calculated guess.
And they just make a calculated guess. And then but it's real to the players, and that's what matters.
That's cool.
And
once again, like perception is reality. If you feel like it's real and you feel like it's immersive and things work correct, then like you've done your job correctly. And for somebody to be doing something like this that on the surface can seem so simple, like Cookie Clicker, but really has so much behind it. Obviously, this guy knows what he's doing when it comes to procedurally generated products, just kind of across the board. And it's people like that who are really going to push us forward, people who are doing things that are different. Whether he himself is ever very successful with it,
the thing is Cookie Clicker probably made him a lot of money based off web ads.
That's fair.
Because back in 2003,
back in the dirt.
2013, 200,000 new people were playing that game a day.
Yeah.
Back in 2003. So
13.
You can check out Cookie Clicker right now for free on the internet. Google it, Cookie Clicker. You can play it. How you play it? Just click that cookie until you can start buying fucking grandmas, and then you just don't touch the game, and it plays itself. It's an idle game. The reason I like to play it because it's instant gratification. I have that instant. I'm doing something. I'm working towards a goal that's intangible.
Yeah, like you buy the game and you play it so you cannot play it.
No, I don't buy it. You don't buy this game.
Okay, I know, but there are many games that people do play.
Games you can buy it. That drives me nuts. It's stupid. Like you have to buy for like the ancient currency or something.
Like, yeah, you do this and do this, and finally you can just like let it run. I'm like, so
there
you can finally get to a point where you don't have to play the game you pay for.
Okay,
but
so
there
you
is
and
depth to cookie.
You and I play SimCity, and at the end of the day, that's like the dream in SimCity is to get your city that's like, I mean, it's, you can never
a new
really,
one. It does kind of run itself, but I don't want it to run itself. It can pause when I go away.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying though. Like, but that's the thing.
We
though,
never
is
get
like,
there though.
If you can get your city to be like perfectly
Autonomous.
self-sustaining, and like you don't like you have enough fucking like firefighters to put out all the fire, enough police to like manage the crime, enough fucking
the game's like inherently designed to never work like
to
that.
never work like that. It's
always gonna have a piece
savage.
missing, and we just keep trying to fix it and plug it and
Yep.
fix it, and then the hole pops up, and then like we'll
There's
play
guys
like,
who made it perfect.
Yeah, there is that one. I know what you're talking
I
about.
showed you that video, right?
Yep.
Of the perfect fucking.
Where they actually went in and they used like a fucking like sacred geometries to come up with like the most efficient way to distribute things on the square pieces.
Does it actually balance out the perfect?
Perfectly.
So if they left it alone, it would just run forever.
Forever.
There's never like even the slightest tipping point where it would just like start.
Well, that's the thing is in the game there are random.
You can turn off disasters.
But if you turn off disasters,
I'm not counting disasters because
but if
random.
all of a sudden like you decide like, oh no, you
140 cookies right now.
Cookies right now.
Good
there you
job.
fucking go.
Play,
That's a start. You'll eventually get to the point where you're making about like right now I'm making 86 billion cookies a second.
That's needed.
I'm
Life
also working towards
goals.
demonizing my grandmas. So I start the grandma apocalypse, and they can become the grand matriarchs.
Man, you are
And I
gonna
have
make
to
it
appease
big.
them.
Man.
There's a lot of depth to the game. You can prestige in the game, and that helps you. And so when you come back and you start from there, you have little bonuses that you get that actually help you play the game. And you every like 200, 300 trillion cookies, you get a prestige point.
Nice.
And then as you get achievements, you gain milk.
And you can
the
dip
more
your
milk
cookies
you
in the
have,
milk.
You get multipliers on top of everything else. So like even though so the game's all based on multipliers. So basically if I have I'm only making 1,000 cookies a second, but I have a 240% multiplier.
Then it's fine, yeah, because then you're still
then
great.
it goes up. And
That's awesome.
and
So
then-
who's
and
this developer?
this is Ortel. So you can follow him on Twitter at ORTEIL42.
Really, 42? Like there was other people who used that name.
42 is the number.
Well, I get
It's
it. but,
the
like,
number.
I get it, but do you think that's
Is there like auto clicker protection at all? Is there anything stopping you?
Besides that, most auto clickers after this game came out require a subscription.
I have probably
If
like
you made your own, you can
dozen
look at-
of them, and I can
No,
make
so
my
this
own
game
too.
actually supports cheating
it does.
because there's actually the only way to get one of the achievements in the game is to cheat, and it says
Nice.
cheated cookies don't taste.
So you
as
have to
good.
like click at least 1,000 times a second or something for it
It,
to
no,
check
it
and
won't
get
even.
you.
It won't even say that's cheating, but like you actually can go in and you can fucking use like HTML scripts
to like
and fucking go in there and tweak the fucking save files
HTML
live.
isn't a script.
And
but
then
sure.
you can look at you look up like it has
Java.
a really advanced like cheating culture, I'll say, where people are actually you have to build scripts as you plug them into fucking Java.
That's the thing about Java. Java is so dangerous.
It's
like
but,
people don't even make games anymore. Like industry decries it. Like
yeah.
terrible.
but
It's fine
he
for like
made it to where it
websites.
supports
But
that. So there's actually a whole section on the Wikipedia. It's supported. You're fucking dishonest for doing it. That's all your fault. You can have a legitimate playthrough it. It's real hard. It's going to take time, but that's where the reward is. If you want to just fucking cheat it, and it's like, there's even a cheat. You can be like, dot, take all the fun away, where it just gives you 999 quadrillion cookies and then all the fucking upgrades.
Nice. It just ends the
Here
game,
you
which
go.
is an idle game. So
If you get so many
just doing
cookies,
the same if you have.
if you get, because I played the game before, there's a point where you get so many fucking cookies that actually has to break it down into scientific notation.
oh my god.
So
Terrific. All right, well, go follow this guy online. Obviously, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's making crazy,
I'm gonna
outrageous games.
Say goodbye. Bye.
You guys, it was an absolute blast hanging out with you guys. If you didn't know, we do this podcast every single Monday, same time, same place. So make sure you join us next week. We'll be doing more fun, just more ridiculousness, really, when it comes down to it. Of course, Josh and I also do Independent every Thursday. It's a podcast dedicated to indie developers and the indie games that we love so much and pay so much attention to and play and love. So if you guys want more of us, especially Josh and I, then come back Thursday. If not, we'll see you guys next Monday. Later on.
Yep. Next week we kill a hobo.